Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of August 2nd through August 8th. And during that time, we have a waning gibbous moon for the first part of the week. That's a really good time of self-reflection, good time for us to make positive changes. We're still working on those projects that we've been working on, get rid of bad habits, negative thinking, and just continue to buckle down and work. We then have the last quarter moon that comes in on the 6th or the 7th, depending on where you are. And that is the time when we start to gain our full potential on those projects that we started during the new moon. So we're just kind of purging, ahead, forging ahead, I guess, and trying to get things accomplished. We're also starting to think, is this working? Am I reaching the end of this goal? And if so, I'll start to think about the new goals that will, as the new moon starts to approach, what might I start working on next time? Or if this thing didn't work this time, I'll make adjustments and start it again during the new moon. So please keep those moon energies in mind as you're moving through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Sagittarius. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that a new romantic cycle begins. All right, let's see what the Sagittarius Collective has going on in their romantic cycle. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder for you this week is that you pay attention to the universe when it comes to synchronicity. So this could be things that you overhear, little signs, maybe you see something on a billboard that seems oddly relevant to your life at the moment. Really ponder those things when you see them. The universe is just full of these kind of signs, numbers that are repeating for you. There could be some deeper meaning, something the universe is really trying to get your attention on. So pay attention to those types of things and synchronicities. Those are the little breadcrumbs the universe is offering on your unique path. So, all right, Sagittarius, let's get into this reading. August 2nd through the 8th, a new romantic cycle begins. Your present energy right now is, look at you being so happy there with the 10 of Cups. Happy life. What do they say? Happy wife, happy life. So you're in a great place right now to even start this off. So if it's a new romantic cycle, it's based out of positivity. It's not based out of, oh, this isn't working. It's based out of, things are great, let's make them better, right? Your current situation right now is the Magician. I love this. Starting out, I'm just loving your reading already. The Magician says, how would you like to improve things? Life is great. Let's make it better. So how are you going to choose, the Pentacles? This would be material things, money, that sort of thing. Are you going to choose emotion in this case with the Cups? Then this could be, if it's romance, it could be passion with the Wand, or it could be better communication. So think about your romantic life and which one of those elements would make that better. And pick up whatever element and get to work at it, right? At the root of your situation is the World card, which is another card of just perfect balance, happy place. You're starting this from a very positive place, and it's almost like things are great. Again, how can I make them better? Maybe I need to communicate better. Let me pick up that sword and tell my partner a thing they need to hear. Maybe it's the emotions. Maybe I need to open my heart and tell them, how I'm feeling emotionally. Maybe it's a gift. Or maybe it's more passion. So, all right, in your recent past here is the Six of Cups. So you've been feeling nostalgic, and this could be that, maybe if you've been together for a while as a couple, that, yeah, you think, what, we used to have date nights, or we used to do this cute little thing for each other that we don't do anymore. I used to leave him messages, in his work, whatever, or in his vehicle, or those little things that you do, and then all of a sudden one day they're just not, you just don't do them anymore. Maybe think back, what is something we used to do, and let me bring that back into this relationship, because that makes it fun. What's on your mind this week is the Seven of Swords. So this is very interesting. So the Seven of Swords is really, it's about cunning, craftiness, sometimes theft, hidden agenda, but I'm seeing this as kind of the craftiness and being a little secretive about, like, dropping that note. I mean, usually this is kind of a negative card. I'm not seeing it that way. in this way. This is being secretive. This is setting up that secret date night. It's like tiptoeing around to plan a weekend away. That's you're surprising your partner in some way. So you have to be a little bit deceptive. These are little white lies, of course, nothing big, huge deceptive, but that maybe you're planning a vacation behind their back, or something that's a surprise for them. It's just whatever it is, and just be a little stealthy about it. And that's fun. I'm excited if I were your partner to know exactly what you were planning. This sounds like fun. All right, what is just ahead of you is the 10 of swords. So, we've got two tens now on the table, 10, 10, and 10 of swords is about kind of being done with a certain way. And it could be, and this isn't negative. I know this card seems very dark and very like, oh, I'm done with these swords on my back. But to me, what this card means is that it's an ending of a way of thinking. And it could be, again, you're turning over this new leaf to a positive thing. So anytime we have tens, they're kind of endings, whether it's a happy ending or, in this case, it's a transformative ending where you're going to stop being a certain way. And maybe, again, maybe there was a block with your romance or something that was going on there that you're trying to turn over that new leaf and do things in a different way. In your advice position here is the Ace of Wands. Add that passion back. So maybe you pick up that wand that the magician is offering you. So it could just be about passion. And is this passion also, maybe it is a weekend getaway or something to kind of, spice things up a little bit. So that is in your advice, is add that passion, add that fire. All right. What is beyond your control this week is the Eight of Cups. So definitely, you're in a good place emotionally, and maybe that means also a little bit of emotional exploration, which honestly I found that passion leads to that, right? It leads to being open and being able to really have those really deep discussions about, where are you emotionally, and are you okay in there, and just that check in that you do with a partner. So I love that card, it's beyond your control, that if you add the passion, those emotions do come up and come out usually when everybody's relaxed, right? Secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? The Sun card. More happiness. I mean, you've got three of the happiest cards in the deck here with these three cards. So love it. You're just in such a good place here with your romance and this new romantic cycle. It's very positive. And I doubt if that is if you're trying to avoid happiness. Most of us are not, right? In your outcome position here is, look at this, giving and receiving. Perfect. I love this reading, Sagittarius. It's very nice. It's very positive. It's very, let's add positive things, and that positive actions are going to get you positive results. So also, I want you to look up angel number 66, see if that has any bearing on your life, since we do have two sixes. I think that was the only repeaters in this. So I love this. Let's see what's hidden from you at the bottom of the deck here. King of Swords, which is about logic. Yeah, let's throw logic out the window with any of this stuff. Let's stick to the passion. Let's stick to emotions. Let's stick to communication. And I love that you do have all of those elements in here. It's gift giving. It's maybe being a little secretive about a surprise, something, but it's all about getting yourself to a happier place in your romance, which I really love. Let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Sagittarius. And the card that you get is to choose friends wisely. Okay. Interesting. Choose your friends wisely, and that could be, maybe you need some support here. This could have something to do with this nostalgic card back there too. Interesting. That's an interesting card to come out here, and I'm looking at like just the black and white of look at the two colors on this card, and look, we're leaning more towards the sunshine, right? So maybe there is something from the past that you're kind of leaving behind. Um, Interesting. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care this week. Self-care for Sagittarius as they're in this new romantic cycle. Self-care for you means calm. I love that. I want to go there. That's really pretty. Mountains, water, nice and calm. Beach looks like. Okay, a breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. Okay, so maybe, maybe there's something right before this that was some kind of breakdown, and we're just going to remain calm. I mean, I feel like these two messages seem a little, to me, disconnected from your reading, which is not typical, which sometimes might mean that there's just something underlying also while you're focused on this new romantic thing, that there might be something that's kind of aside. Life is complicated. Never are any of us going just through one thing at a time, but this might be related to like a side quest, something that's off to the side, that's on your mind. Maybe it's not at the forefront of your mind, but it's out there. So take those cards into account. You'll know exactly what they mean when you hear those words. So, Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. Of course, if you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know how your romantic cycle's going. Let me know too, are you planning something secretive and fun for your partner? I'd be very curious to hear if there's more than one Sagittarius out there going through that. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Also, if you like my reading style, if you've hit subscribe already, thank you so much for doing that. If not, it's very easy to do. Just click right down there, click on subscribe, because it'll help you find me next week. Come on back and let's see where your story goes. So thanks, Sagittarius. Good luck. See you next time. Bye-bye.